Hello. Welcome to this week's love letter from Laurel. So, I want to pick up where we left off from the July 13th love letter, where we talked about vulnerability and Brene Brown's quote that vulnerability is the best measure of courage. So I was reading something yesterday from Ryan Holiday. He's one of my favorite, and I think one of the best thought leaders of the millennial generation, and has written several phenomenal books. You can look at my book list over the last couple of years on my website, laurelemry.com, to see some of those. But The Obstacle is the Way, The Ego is the Enemy, a couple of my favorites. He does a phenomenal one about Hulk Hogan called Conspiracy that is just incredibly eye-opening. But I was reading something from him yesterday where he talked about how he and Lance Armstrong were going to potentially do a project together. And in their conversations and potential preparations for that project, where Lance Armstrong shared with him just some of the responses that people had toward Lance, friends of his, when he, kind of fell from grace, if you will, and had, just the kind of the downfall that he had. And one of the things that Lance said to Ryan in their conversation was, sometimes when you fall, people lean in to you, and sometimes when you fall, people just lean out and disappear, or treat you badly in the process. And in Ryan's commentary about it, he was saying how he wants to always be a person who leans in, even if the person is guilty. And I was thinking about our conversation a couple of weeks ago about vulnerability, and in that I asked you to lean into a relationship where you needed to be more vulnerable and needed to open up to someone. But thinking about the interaction that Lance Armstrong and Ryan Holiday had, it made me think about just the importance of loving someone regardless of what's going on in their life, or what the external might look like, or even if they have done something wrong or bad, that you befriend them and you be there for them in that time of need, even if it means that it paints you in a negative light because you have befriended them. I think that is one of the, again, best measures of courage when we talk about vulnerability, is showing that you are going to show up for somebody, even if it means that you might be labeled poorly because you have loved them, befriended them, and been there for them in their time of need. So that's my thought for you today, is to just make sure that you are loving people regardless, and that you're leaning in with them, even if they have done something wrong, and maybe there's a lot of assumptions going on, and need to peel back the assumptions and think a little bit more, or ask some questions about what the circumstances actually were. So that's this week's love letter for you, and I hope you're all doing well. Take care. Bye.